Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is Gaurav Sharma with the evening news. The headlines. Shri Ram Janmabhoomi Tirth Kshetra Trust proposes Bhumi Pujan for construction of Ram Temple in Ayodhya in the first week of August. Fight against COVID-19 in decisive phase, says Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan. High-level central team to visit Bihar tomorrow to review coronavirus pandemic situation. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says G20 action plan reflects a collective commitment to fight COVID-19. In Jammu and Kashmir, Administrative Council clears proposal to provide life insurance cover of 25 lakh rupees to all elected representatives of local bodies. And Income Tax Department to start e-campaign on voluntary tax compliance from Monday. Shri Ram Janmabhoomi Tirth Kshetra Trust has finalized the schedule for construction of Ram Temple in Ayodhya, and Bhumi Pujan of the construction area will be done either on the 3rd or the 5th of August. The Trust has decided to invite Prime Minister Narendra Modi on this occasion, and the final date will be announced as per confirmation from the Prime Minister's office. The decision was taken in a meeting of the Trust members in Ayodhya this afternoon. More from our correspondent.
Due to corona pandemic and the changing scenario in the country after tension at the border, Trust decided that the date of Bhumi Pujan will be finalized after confirmation of Prime Minister's office regarding PM's visit. Member of the Trust, Kameshwar Chaupal, said that PM has agreed to come to Ayodhya and now the construction work will start on the date which will be decided by PMO, that is either on 3rd or 5th August. He said that there is a slight change in the design of Grand Ram Temple and now there will be 5 domes instead of 2. The height of the temple will also increase to 161 feet. Talking to media after meeting, Secretary of the Trust, Champat Rai, said that it will take almost 3 to 3.5 hours to complete the construction of the Ram Temple.
बहुत अधिक संतुलन करके आपको सूचना दे रहे हैं कि जिस दिन से शुरू हो जाएगा सारी परिस्थितियां धन संग्रह और बाकी की ड्राइंग तैयार हो जाएगी, तब से हम ये मानते हैं कि 3 से 3.5 साल ये हम अधिकतम बोल रहे हैं.
सुशील चंद्र तिवारी, AIR News, Lucknow.
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh visited a forward post near the LOC in Kupwara district of Jammu and Kashmir today and interacted with the soldiers deployed there. He said, "We are extremely proud of the brave and courageous soldiers who are defending our country in every situation." Earlier today, the Defence Minister visited the holy cave of Amarnath Ji Shrine in Kashmir and offered prayers. He spent about an hour at the temple complex and paid his respectful obeisance. He was accompanied by General Bipin Rawat, Chief of Defence Staff, Army Chief General M.M. Naravane, and other senior officers of the district administration. Yesterday, Mr. Rajnath Singh reviewed the overall security scenario in Jammu and Kashmir with the top military brass in Srinagar, which was also attended by J&K Lieutenant Governor Girish Chandra Murmu, Director General of J&K Police Dilbag Singh, and other senior officers of the civil administration. He asked the armed forces to give a fitting reply to any misadventure by Pakistan. Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan today informed that the human trials for an indigenous corona vaccine have started and the fight against COVID-19 is in a decisive phase. In a tweet, Dr. Vardhan said efforts were on for development of the vaccine over the past several months and there have been positive signs. The Health Minister said India will soon be able to win against the epidemic completely. He said there have been no side effects in the initial trials. The Minister said trials are taking place in 14 institutes and ICMR scientists are keeping an eye on every data.
India has become one of the frontrunners in the global effort to develop a vaccine for the containment of COVID-19 pandemic. Government agencies have stepped up collaboration with private partners to fast-track the approval process needed for development of a potential COVID vaccine. Bharat Biotech and Zydus Cadila started the human clinical trials of their potential vaccines after getting the approvals from the Central Drug Standard Control Organization. More from our correspondent.
India has fast-tracked its efforts for the development of COVID-19 vaccine, which are under human clinical trial stage. ICMR and Bharat Biotech have joined hands for the development of a potential COVID-19 vaccine called Covaxin, whereas the Department of Biotechnology has partially funded the development of Zydus vaccine, ZyCoV-D. Zydus has set the target to complete the phase 1 and 2 human clinical trials in the next 3 months. Another top Indian pharma company, Serum Institute of India, has bagged a contract with British drug maker AstraZeneca to supply 1 billion doses of Oxford University's potential COVID-19 vaccine. This vaccine is currently at the most advanced stage at the world level. The World Health Organization has expressed hope that the COVID vaccine will come by next year. Bhupendra Singh, AIR News, Delhi.
A high-level central team of the Health Ministry, led by Joint Secretary Love Agarwal, will visit Bihar tomorrow to review the COVID-19 situation in the state. The team comprises National Centre for Disease Control Director Dr. S.K. Singh and AIIMS New Delhi Medicine Department Associate Professor Neeraj Nischal. Union Minister of State for Health and Family Welfare Ashwini Kumar Chaubey said the centre is keeping an eye on the situation in Bihar and both governments have together initiated all possible steps to contain the corona pandemic in the state. Mr. Chaubey said the high-level team will work out a way to prevent further spread of coronavirus infection.
The total number of people who recovered from coronavirus crossed the 6.5 lakh mark today. The central government today said a total of 6,53,751 people affected by coronavirus have recovered in the country so far. The recovery rate has reached 62.93%. In the past 24 hours, 17,994 people have recovered. Presently, the total number of active corona cases in the country is 3,58,692. The Health and Family Welfare Ministry said a total of 34,884 new cases of COVID-19 have been reported in the country within 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to 10,38,716. In a single day, 671 deaths have been reported, taking the nationwide toll to 26,273. Meanwhile, Indian Council of Medical Research, ICMR, said that a total of 361,024 samples were tested for coronavirus in various laboratories in the country within 24 hours. A total of 1,475 new confirmed cases of coronavirus were reported in Delhi during the last 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to 1,21,582. Delhi government confirmed that over 1 lakh people affected with coronavirus have been cured so far. In the last 24 hours, 1,973 people recovered and 26 deaths were reported in the national capital, taking the toll to 3,597. Presently, the total number of active cases in the national capital is 16,711.
The Sikkim government today reviewed and modified guidelines related to unlocking in view of growing number of COVID-19 cases in the state, especially in East Sikkim district. 10 new containment zones were announced in East Sikkim. More in this report.
Following a meeting chaired by Chief Minister P.S. Tamang, the State Transport COVID-19 Coordination and Health Departments held a press conference in Gangtok. COVID-19 Coordination Secretary Rinjing Chawang Bhutia informed that intra- and inter-district vehicular movement is allowed on odd-even basis in South and West Sikkim district, while only intra-district movement is allowed in North Sikkim on odd-even stipulation. In East Sikkim, only local movement of vehicles on odd-even basis is allowed. All essential services have been allowed with identification proof of people. With Sekkat Sarkar, Parijat Sharma from Gangtok for AIR.
Mizoram reported 10 new positive cases for coronavirus infection in the last 24 hours. With this, the total tally has reached 282 in the state, while active cases presently stand at 122. So far, 160 patients have been cured of coronavirus infection. According to an official statement, 10 cases were confirmed positive out of 160 samples tested yesterday. All the new cases were in quarantine centers. So far, 17,760 samples were tested in the state and 18,366 people remained quarantined. In a positive development, the Village Council 7 of Serchhip district has set a new example by donating a new Maruti Eco van modified as an ambulance to the district hospital. The Village Council is equivalent to a Gram Panchayat. Talking to AIR News, President of the village council, H. Laltiang Lima, said they bought the ambulance with money saved from government funds. The medical superintendent, Dr. Z.D. Lalmuanoma, thanked the village council for the initiative. In Nagaland, the total number of COVID-19 positive cases has increased to 978 after 22 new cases were reported today. Health Minister S. Pangnu Pom in a tweet informed that out of 22 persons being confirmed with COVID-19 positive cases, 11 are from Peren, 8 in Dimapur and 3 in Kohima. He said all cases are detected from quarantine centres.
In Maharashtra, the researchers at Center of Nanofabrics of Kodapur's Shivaji University have done significant research that could inactivate the coronavirus, which has affected the entire world. Vice-Chancellor in charge of Shivaji University, Dr. Nitin Karmalkar, said the virus shield fabric spray technology will make it possible to inactivate many other deadly viruses, including the coronavirus. Professor of Shivaji University's Center of Nanofabrics, Dr. Kiran Kumar Sharma, did this research under the guidance of Professor Dr. P.S. Patil of the School of Nanoscience and Technology and Dr. Kiran Pawar. We have a report from our Mumbai correspondent.
The team of researchers today met the Vice-Chancellor in charge of Shivaji University, Dr. Nitin Karmalkar, and informed him that the international tests have found that after this virus shield fabric spray was used on clothes, it inactivated more than 99.99% of the SARS-CoV-2 virus present on its surface. The virus shield fabric spray technology is very easy to use. A person has to just spray it on his or her clothes. It acts as a protective shield until the clothes are washed. This virus shield fabric spray will soon be available to the general public at all major drugstores. It will cost Rs 270 for 250 milliliter bottle and Rs 495 for 500 milliliter bottle. Sweetie Jane, AR News, Mumbai.
In a positive development in Chennai, the doubling rate of COVID-19 infection has increased to 47. The City Corporation Commissioner, Prakash, said it is considered a significant feat in the fight against the pandemic. A report.
Chennai since long remains the city with the most COVID-19 caseload in Tamil Nadu. However, the Corporation Commissioner Prakash says he is highly confident to face the next phase of the unlock whenever it comes, thanks to the remarkable improvements in crucial parameters relating to the control of the pandemic. The positivity of the infection has come down from as high as 12 in the recent past to as low as 8, which he says will be very soon brought under 5, the base level possible as of now. He credits the development to the duty-conscious public, effective interventions like door-to-door surveillance, fever clinics, increased testing and relentless efforts of the doctors, nurses, paramedics, police and all other field staff. Jai Singh, AR News, Chennai.
In Kerala, as COVID cases are on a rise, complete lockdown has been declared in the coastal regions of Thiruvananthapuram district from today midnight. A report.
The lockdown will be effective for coming 10 days without any relaxations. The coastal regions of the district, including Pundura and Pulluvila, where community spread is being confirmed, is divided into 3 critical containment zones. Full-fledged rapid action team under special officers are being deputed in the zones. Only emergency services are permitted in the region. Vehicles will only be allowed in highways. People are strictly prohibited from venturing out except for emergencies. Large-scale COVID testing is being carried out in the region. Special first-line COVID care centers are also being opened. Meanwhile, 593 new COVID cases are confirmed in the state today, among which 364 cases are through local transmission. 2 deaths due to COVID were also reported, taking the death toll in the state to 40. 204 persons recovered from the disease today. Presently, 6,416 active COVID cases are there in Kerala. Mayusha for AR News from Thiruvananthapuram.
Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister C.N. Ashwath Narayan inspected a modular mobile intensive care unit developed by a private company in Bengaluru today. The ICUs built into a shipping container can be on transit to reach out to corona patients. Fitted with essential medical equipment to check a patient's vitals, it can be taken to the containment zones. In Gujarat, 3 robots have been deployed at COVID wards of Sir Sayaji Rao Gaikwad Hospital in Vadodara to mitigate the risk of infection to hospital staff. More details from our correspondent.
These fully automatic robots are manufactured in India under Make in India policy. The project is funded by L&T Hydrocarbon Engineering under Corporate Social Responsibility. Talking to AIR, CEO of Gujarat Corporate Social Responsibility Authority, M. Thanarasan said the main objective of this project is to provide services to COVID-19 patients remotely and check the unauthorized entries to the hospital.
This robots will check the temperature and also, ask the people to wear the mask if they don't wear the mask. In addition to that, this other two robots will provide medicine, food to the beds without contact. So the necessity of person attending each bed will not arise and the possibility of contamination will be prevented. Moreover, all the three robots were made in India as a part of the Make in India policy, and this would go a long way in solving COVID-like situation.
This is yet another successful example of public-private partnership in the fight against COVID-19. Aparna Khun, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
In the Union Territory of Chandigarh, 31 new cases from various sectors reported positive for COVID-19 today. 5 patients were discharged after recovery and 1 patient lost his life. Our correspondent reports with this, the number of positive cases so far has risen to 691. Out of these, 485 have been cured and 12 COVID patients have died till date. Now 194 COVID patients are under treatment in Chandigarh.
You're listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Shri Ram Janmabhoomi Tirth Kshetra Trust proposes Bhumi Pujan for construction of Ram Temple in Ayodhya in the first week of August. Fight against COVID-19 in decisive phase, says Health Minister Dr. Harsh Vardhan. High-level central team to visit Bihar tomorrow to review coronavirus pandemic situation. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says G20 action plan reflects a collective commitment to fight COVID-19. In Jammu and Kashmir, Administrative Council clears proposal to provide life insurance cover of 25 lakh rupees to all elected representatives of local bodies. And Income Tax Department to start e-campaign on voluntary tax compliance from Monday. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
The President, Vice President and Prime Minister have expressed grief at the demise of Professor C.S. Seshadri. In a tweet, President Ramnath Kovind said a multifaceted personality and mathematical genius, Professor C.S. Seshadri is known for his exceptional contribution in algebraic geometry. He said in his passing away, India has lost an institution builder. The President expressed condolences to his family and friends. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu said renowned mathematician C.S. Seshadri made pioneering contribution in the area of algebraic geometry. Mr. Naidu said his death is a great loss to the field of mathematics. He expressed condolences to the bereaved family members. In a tweet, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said in the passing away of Professor Seshadri, India has lost an intellectual stalwart who did outstanding work in mathematics. The Prime Minister said his efforts, especially in algebraic geometry, will be remembered for generations. He expressed condolences to the family and admirers of Professor Seshadri. One of the leaders of Indian mathematics in the post-independence era, Professor Seshadri passed away yesterday in Chennai. He was 88. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman today shared India's technology-based financial inclusion at the third meeting of G20 finance ministers. Ms. Sitharaman stated that using technology-based financial inclusion, contactless transfers were made of $10 billion to 420 million bank accounts. She also shared policy measures undertaken by India to provide support during the pandemic with a comprehensive package of over $295 billion, about 10% of India's GDP. The minister participated in the virtual meeting of G20 finance ministers to discuss global economic outlook amid evolving COVID-19 crisis and other G20 finance track deliverables for 2020. Ms. Sitharaman said G20 action plan is an expression of our collective commitment to fight COVID-19 and it must remain relevant and effective as the crisis evolves. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the Administrative Council, which met in Srinagar under the chairmanship of Lieutenant Governor G.C. Murmu, approved life insurance cover of 25 lakh rupees to all elected Block Development Council chairmen, sarpanch, panch and all elected members of municipal bodies of Jammu and Kashmir in case of death due to terror-related incidents. The decision aims at strengthening grassroots democracy by providing a sense of security to elected members of local bodies who are under constant threat from terrorists. The life insurance cover will act as a guarantee for the subsistence of the family members of the elected representatives who die in terror-related incidents. It will ensure that their families do not face economic distress and poverty in case of any untoward incident and continue to fulfill basic needs of nutrition, education and health in adverse circumstances. The Council also approved the amendment of Jammu and Kashmir Miner, Mineral Concession, Storage, Transportation of Minerals and Prevention of Illegal Mining Rules 2016. The amendment will enable grant of short-term permits to the Panchayati Raj institutions, PRIs, on land up to 1 hectare till the 30th of September 2021. It will also exempt PRIs from payment of advance royalty to Geology and Mining Department before commencing mining. The Administrative Council further allowed Department of Geology and Mining to apply and secure clearances like mining plans, environmental clearance and consent to operate from the competent authorities on behalf of the panchayats. The decision is aimed at empowering PRIs to raise funds through mining surpluses and address shortage of key construction material in local market, besides keeping a check on their prices.
In Jammu and Kashmir, the intending Hajj pilgrims of Hajj 2020 have been informed that Jammu and Kashmir Hajj Committee has received the passports from Hajj Committee of India, Mumbai, for onward distribution among the concerned pilgrims. As per the statement issued in Srinagar, it was informed that because of the present situation due to COVID-19 pandemic, the Hajj Committee is not in a position to distribute the passports. However, it has been decided that the process of distribution of passports shall be reviewed after 1st of August, provided the ongoing situation permits, for which a separate notification shall be issued. The Income Tax Department is all set to start an e-campaign on voluntary compliance of income tax for the convenience of the taxpayers from Monday. The Central Board of Direct Taxes, CBDT, has said that the 11-day campaign will focus on the assessees or taxpayers who are either non-filers or have discrepancies in their returns for the financial year 2018-19. It said the objective of the e-campaign is to facilitate taxpayers to validate online their tax and financial transaction information available with the IT department and promote voluntary compliance, especially for the assessees for the 2018-19 cycle, so that they do not need to get into notice and scrutiny process. CBDT said that this e-campaign is being run for the benefit of the taxpayers. Under this e-campaign, the Income Tax Department will send email and SMS to identified taxpayers to verify their financial transactions related information received by the IT department from various sources such as statement of financial transactions, tax deduction at source, tax collection at source and foreign remittances. CBDT said that under the e-campaign, the taxpayers will be able to assess details of their high-value transaction-related information on the designated portal. There would be no need to visit any income tax office as the response has to be submitted online. CBDT further said that the last date for filing as well as revising the income tax return for the assessment year 2019-20 is 31st July 2020.
Amidst the ongoing political developments in Rajasthan, the Anti-Corruption Bureau, ACB, has registered a case on a complaint filed by the Congress. The Bureau has registered a case based on the complaint filed by Chief Whip Mahesh Joshi before the Anti-Corruption Bureau recently. Director General of the ACB, Alok Tripathi, told media that statements of Mr. Joshi were recorded and he also submitted some audio clips before the ACB yesterday. More from our correspondent.
One case has been registered by the Anti-Corruption Bureau, while 3 cases have been registered by the SOG in connection with a so-called conspiracy against the state government and the horse trading. The SOG has arrested an accused in the case. Acquisitions between Congress and the BJP leaders have been going on ever since the audio clips related to the alleged horse trading of MLAs became viral 2 days ago. Alleging state government for misuse of agencies, the BJP has demanded a CBI probe into the entire case. At the same time, Congress has said that the law will do its job. Meanwhile, two MLAs of Bharatiya Tribal Party today announced their support to the state government. Jitendra Dwivedi, AIR News, Jaipur.
The News Service Division of All India Radio in its bilingual live phone-in program today will bring you a special discussion on COVID-19. Dr. Rajendra K. Dhamija, Head of Neurology Department, Lady Hardinge Medical College, will participate in the discussion. Listeners can ask questions to the experts on toll-free telephone number 1-800-115-767. You can also ask questions on our telephone number 011-233-14444 and post queries on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by #AskAir. This can be heard tonight on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards.
In Assam, inter-district movement of individuals will be barred from the 22nd of July in the state to prevent the spread of COVID-19 until further orders. Chief Secretary Kumar Sanjay Krishna said for medical and last right emergencies, movement will be allowed only with written permission from the Deputy Commissioner of the originating district. He said that movement of goods will be continued.
Offices, banks, insurance companies, NBFCs, private companies, Guwahati Tea Auction Center, all are allowed to operate with 30% of the workforce. Testing of COVID and maintenance of COVID protocols will be very, very important for all these offices. Telecommunication, internet services, broadcasting, cable services, IT, power generation, transmission, distribution, etc. are all allowed.
The United States administration has withdrawn the order under which Indian air carriers had to seek its prior approval before operation of Indian flights engaged in repatriation of Indian nationals. The order, which was issued last month, has been withdrawn before coming into effect. U.S. Transport Department has reportedly taken the decision in light of the Indian government's nod to the air bubble system. Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Singh Puri had on Thursday announced commencement of bilateral operation of commercial flights from United States, France, Germany and UAE. More in this report.
The withdrawal of the order necessitating prior U.S. approval for movement of Indian air carriers to America is being witnessed as a welcome move. U.S. Transport Department's move will allow unhindered repatriation of Indians stuck in various states of the country. Earlier last month, Washington had asked Delhi to allow to and fro movement of its air carriers from India. After Civil Aviation Ministry's initiative of allowing limited bilateral movement of air carriers between few countries, movement of people stuck in various parts of the world is set to become easier. India has so far repatriated over 650,000 of its nationals from across the world. Anand Chaturvedi, AIR News, Delhi.
Now a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital Delhi will witness a thunderstorm with rain. It will have a minimum temperature of around 29 degrees Celsius and maximum of 35 degrees. Mumbai will witness generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Minimum temperature will be 26 degrees, maximum will be around 30 degrees. Chennai will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. The temperature will hover between 27 and 34 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will witness partly cloudy sky with one or two spells of rain or thunder showers. Minimum temperature in the metropolis will be around 28 degrees. Maximum will be 35 degrees. On to the north, in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature will be 27 degrees Celsius in Jammu, while maximum will be around 35 degrees Celsius. The city will have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. In Srinagar, minimum temperature will be around 19 degrees Celsius. Maximum will be 32 degrees. The city will have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. In Gilgit, temperature will hover between 20 and 32 degrees Celsius. It will witness a partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. In Muzaffarabad, there will be partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. It will witness minimum temperature of 22 degrees, while maximum temperature will be around 34 degrees. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Shri Ram Janmabhoomi Tirth Kshetra Trust proposes Bhumi Pujan for construction of Ram Temple in Ayodhya in the first week of August. Fight against COVID-19 in decisive phase, says Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan. High-level central team to visit Bihar tomorrow to review coronavirus pandemic situation. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says G20 action plan reflects a collective commitment to fight COVID-19. In Jammu and Kashmir, Administrative Council clears proposal to provide life insurance cover of 25 lakh rupees to all elected representatives of local bodies and Income Tax Department to start e-campaign on voluntary tax compliance from Monday. And that is all in the evening news. Good night.